Imagine walking through a city built over 4,500 years ago. A city so advanced it had a planned street grid and a complex water management system, complete with private bathrooms and toilets in almost every home. This isn't Rome or Athens. This is Mohenjo-Daro, the crown jewel of the enigmatic Indus Valley civilization. For centuries, this sprawling metropolis, along with hundreds of other settlements, thrived in what is now Pakistan and northwest India. Then, around 1900 BCE, it simply vanished. The people disappeared, their writing remains undeciphered, and their story was lost to time until its rediscovery just a century ago. What happened to this incredibly advanced Bronze Age civilization? Why did they abandon their magnificent cities? Today, we re-diving deep into one of history's greatest unsolved mysteries, the collapse of the Indus Valley civilization. When archaeologists first unearthed Mohenjo-Daro in the 1920s, they were stunned. This wasn't some primitive settlement. This was urban planning that wouldn't be seen again for thousands of years. The city was laid out in a grid pattern, with main streets broad and straight, and smaller lanes branching off to residential quarters. The buildings were constructed from uniform, baked bricks, a testament to a standardized and organized society. Think about that. While many parts of the world were still living in simple huts, the people of the Indus Valley were mass-producing high-quality building materials. But the real showstopper was their sanitation system. Nearly every house had a dedicated bathing area and a toilet connected to a sophisticated citywide drainage network. Covered drains ran along the streets, carrying wastewater away from homes into larger sewers. This level of public health and hygiene was simply unheard of for the era. The Romans, famous for their aqueducts, built them 2,000 years after Mohenjo-Daro was at its peak. This wasn't just functional, it suggests a deep cultural emphasis on cleanliness, something that is still a significant part of the region's culture today. At the heart of the city stood the Great Bath, a massive watertight public pool. Was it a ritual purification site, a social hub? We don't know for sure, but its meticulous construction points to its central importance in the lives of the city's inhabitants. Yet, for all its sophistication, Mohenjo-Daro is a city of paradoxes. As we explore its ruins, we find a curious absence of certain things we'd expect from a major ancient civilization. Where are the grand palaces, the monumental temples to powerful gods? Where are the lavish tombs filled with treasure for kings and queens? We haven't found any. Unlike Egypt or Mesopotamia, with their clear hierarchies of pharaohs, kings, and priests, the Indus society appears remarkably egalitarian. There are variations in house sizes, suggesting some level of wealth difference, but nothing on the scale of a royal palace versus a commoner's hovel. This has led to a fascinating debate. Was the Indus Valley governed by a council of elders, a merchant class, or perhaps a collective of priests? The society was clearly organized. You can't build cities like Mohenjo-Daro without coordination and leadership, but their power structures seem to have been expressed differently, less ostentatiously than their contemporaries. Even their art is telling. We find beautiful but small artifacts, intricate seals with animal carvings, graceful sculptures like the famous priest-king statue and the dancing girl bronze. These are personal, refined items, not massive monuments to glorify a ruler. It's as if their focus was on the community, on trade and craft, rather than on war and worship of a single, all-powerful leader. The mystery deepens when we consider their defenses. While the cities were well-structured, they lack significant fortifications. We find no widespread evidence of weapons, armies, or major battles. Does this mean the Indus Valley was a peaceful utopia for nearly a millennium? It's a romantic idea, but perhaps unlikely. It could be that their power was economic, not military. The Indus people were master traders. Their distinctive seals and beads have been found as far away as Mesopotamia, modern-day Iraq, indicating a bustling maritime trade network. Perhaps their wealth and control over vital resources were their true defense, making open conflict unnecessary or too costly. And then there's the biggest riddle of all, their script. The Indus people had a written language, found on thousands of small stone seals. These feature complex symbols, often alongside beautifully carved animals like unicorns, bulls, and elephants. But despite decades of effort by the world's brightest minds, no one has been able to decipher it. Is it a language, a system of trade markers, or something else entirely? Without the ability to read their words, we are left to interpret their entire world through their silent artifacts. It's like trying to understand a culture by looking at their cities and their art, but never being able to hear their stories, their laws, or their beliefs. The key to unlocking the secrets of their society, their religion, and maybe even their downfall, lies hidden in these enigmatic symbols. So, how did this thriving advanced civilization come to an end? For a long time, the leading theory was a violent invasion. Early excavators found skeletons scattered in the streets of Mohenjo-Daro, leading them to believe the city was sacked by nomadic invaders, possibly the Indo-Aryans. It was a dramatic and compelling story. However, modern archaeology has largely debunked this theory. The number of skeletons is far too small to represent a major massacre, and their placement doesn't conclusively point to a single, violent event. The evidence of a large-scale invasion just isn't there. This has shifted the focus to a more insidious culprit: the environment. The Indus Valley civilization was a gift of the river. It depended on the annual flooding of the Indus and the now-lost Gagarhaka River to fertilize their fields and sustain their agriculture. But what happens when the river turns against you? Geologists and archaeologists have found compelling evidence that the region's climate began to change around 2000 BCE. The monsoons, which the rivers relied on, may have become weaker and more erratic. More dramatically, tectonic activity may have altered the courses of the rivers themselves. Imagine the lifeblood of your entire civilization, the source of your food, your water, your trade routes suddenly shifting its path or drying up. Evidence suggests the Gagarhaka River, which supported hundreds of settlements, began to disappear, turning a once fertile heartland into a desert. The Indus River itself may have experienced catastrophic floods or changed its course, isolating or destroying key cities like Mohenjo-Daro. This wasn't a single, sudden event, but likely a slow, creeping catastrophe that unfolded over generations. The decline was gradual. We see it in the later stages of the cities. The meticulous urban planning breaks down. Grand houses are subdivided into smaller, cruder dwellings. The sophisticated drainage systems fall into disrepair. It's the picture of a society under immense stress, its resources dwindling, its central authority collapsing. Faced with failing crops and a dying landscape, the people of the Indus Valley didn't vanish in a flash of violence. They moved. They likely migrated east towards the more water-rich Ganges Plain, breaking up into smaller, more rural communities. Their great cities were slowly abandoned, left to be swallowed by the dust and forgotten by history. The urban literate and highly organized culture of the Indus Valley slowly dissolved, its legacy absorbed into the new societies that emerged in its wake. So, the story of Mohenjo-Daro isn't one of a mysterious, instantaneous disappearance, but a powerful, cautionary tale of a civilization's relationship with its environment. They were brilliant engineers and planners, but they were ultimately at the mercy of forces far beyond their control. The Indus people didn't truly vanish. They adapted, they moved, and their cultural DNA likely lives on in the people of the subcontinent today. But their magnificent cities, their undeciphered script, and their unique way of life remain a haunting echo from the deep past. A testament to a lost world that was, in so many ways, far ahead of its time. The mystery endures, reminding us that even the greatest civilizations can be reclaimed by the sands of time. What do you think happened to this incredible civilization? Let me know your theories down in the comments. Thanks so much for joining me on this journey back in time. If you enjoyed this exploration of ancient mysteries, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more deep dives into our world's forgotten histories. See you next time.